The cameras caught it. The players saw it. And Jimmy Haslam absolutely did not miss it. Just minutes after the Browns' offense stalled for the third straight drive, the entire stadium watched Jerry Jeudy storm off the field, march straight toward rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders, and explode in his face, clapping aggressively inches from Shedeur's helmet, leaning over him, repeating, "That's wrong. That's wrong," like he was lecturing a kid, instead of talking to the quarterback who's been fighting behind one of the worst offensive lines in the league. But what the broadcast didn't show is the moment that truly detonated the Browns facility afterward, because when Judy kept going, louder, angrier, more animated, veteran center Ethan Posick stepped in and physically separated the two. A lineman had to protect the rookie quarterback from his own starting wide receiver. And when Haslam saw that replay later, multiple insiders said the Browns owner demanded one thing immediately. Why is a $52 million receiver screaming at my rookie instead of catching the football? And that's the real story here. Since Shedeur took over as QB1, Jerry Jeudy has, for catches, 2 drops, 1 fumble, and 0 accountability. Yet he never yelled at Joe Flacco, never barked at Dillon Gabriel, never clapped in Kenny Pickett's face. Only Shedeur, and after defending the decision to draft Shedeur, after backing him publicly, after watching him study film in the cafeteria like his career depends on it, Haslam saw his franchise investment getting humiliated on national TV by a struggling, inconsistent veteran. That's why Browns HQ internally exploded. And that's where this story really begins. The footage didn't just go viral, it detonated across Cleveland. Every angle, every close-up, every second of Jerry Jeudy leaning over Shedeur Sanders like a frustrated parent scolding a child in front of the entire world. But what fans didn't know yet was how much deeper it went, and how the fallout inside Browns HQ was even more explosive than what they saw on TV. After the failed drive late in the third quarter, Shedeur sat on the bench surrounded by linemen, studying the Microsoft Surface tablet the way he always does, calm, focused, locked in like a quarterback, trying to make sense of an offense that barely gives him time to breathe. And then came Jerry Jeudy, storming toward him, shoulders tense, hands clapping aggressively in Shedeur's face, repeating the same phrase over and over. "That's wrong. That's wrong." Every player in a 10-foot radius turned to look. You could feel the tension tighten like a rope. Shedeur kept his composure, barely lifting his head. He wasn't engaging in drama. He wasn't matching Judy's energy. He was trying to stay locked in. But Jerry Jeudy didn't want to be calm. He wanted confrontation. When Shedeur finally looked up and tried to speak, Jeudy cut him off again, repeating the same phrase, louder this time. That's when Browns center Ethan Posick stepped in, physically separating the two. A veteran lineman had to act like a mediator because a $52 million receiver couldn't control his emotions. Inside the broadcast truck, CBS producers clipped the footage instantly. They knew what they had. And by the time the fourth quarter started, every major NFL account had the clip on social media. Fans were replaying it frame by frame, analyzing Shedeur's reaction, Judy's body language, Posick stepping in, and Stefanski pretending not to see anything. But here's what nobody saw yet: Jimmy Haslam's reaction. The Browns owner wasn't just watching a frustrated receiver vent. He was watching a veteran disrespect the quarterback he personally defended. The same quarterback he supported publicly when analysts accused the Browns of drafting Shedeur just to boost ticket sales. The same quarterback he praised for being a serious football player when the media questioned whether Shedeur was ready. Haslam didn't see Judy trying to help. He saw Judy undermining the quarterback the franchise is trying to build around. Insiders said Haslam was furious. Not emotional, not annoyed, furious, because the numbers told the real story. Judy had 4 catches across Shedeur's 2 starts, 0.2 drops, 0.1 fumble, and 0 accountability. Yet he hadn't barked at Dillon Gabriel this way. He hadn't confronted Joe Flacco this way. He hadn't clapped in any veteran quarterback's face this way. Only the rookie. Only the 5th-round pick. Only the quarterback the owner publicly defended. Inside the Browns' locker room, players were whispering about it. Some veteran defenders thought Judy crossed the line. Several offensive players admitted quietly that the chemistry with Judy had been off for weeks. And for good reason. Earlier that same game, Shedeur launched a deep shot that had a chance to be a touchdown. Judy slowed his route at the last second. If he had kept running, the ball likely hits him in stride. Instead, he hesitated. The pass fell incomplete, and instead of owning the mistake, Judy turned toward the sideline shaking his head, acting like Shedeur overthrew him by a mile. Then came the fourth quarter blow-up, but what really pushed Haslam over the edge happened after the game, during the press conference. When reporters asked Shedeur about the offensive struggles and the miscommunication with Judy, he didn't throw Judy under the bus. He didn't blame the plays. He didn't blame Stefanski. Instead, he said, as players and teammates, we got to be able to gel with each other and be comfortable in every situation. That takes time. Professional, calm, mature. Exactly the opposite of what happened on the sideline, he continued. I'm more of a trustworthy person. It takes time on task. We got to see things through the same lens. Those weren't accidental words. Those were the words of a quarterback implying, without attacking, that his receiver wasn't where he was supposed to be, and Haslam heard every syllable. Inside the facility the next morning, things were tense. Coaches reviewing film, executives walking around quietly. Players keep conversations short. But the loudest question in the building came straight from Haslam's office. How did Jerry Jeudy think that was acceptable? That single question sent shockwaves through the organization, because Haslam has been the only consistent voice supporting Shedeur since the draft. When reporters questioned him, he defended the pick. When fans doubted, he doubled down. When analysts said Stefanski didn't want Shedeur, Haslam emphasized his belief in the rookie. Watching Judy publicly humiliate Shedeur after dropping passes, fumbling, slowing routes, and contributing almost nothing was the last thing the owner was willing to tolerate. One Brown staffer summed it up perfectly. Haslam isn't going to let anyone tear the kid down, not after everything he invested in him. And that moment, that sideline explosion, became the spark that would ignite multiple conversations behind closed doors. Conversations about accountability, about leadership, about culture, and most importantly, about Jerry Jeudy's future in Cleveland. The Browns facility was quiet the next morning, but not the calm kind. It was the kind of silence where everyone walked a little faster, spoke a little softer, and avoided eye contact, because they all knew the storm that was brewing behind closed doors. Word had already spread through the building. Jimmy wants answers. And not later. Not tomorrow. Now. Coaches in the offensive wing heard the news first. Assistants whispered to each other as they entered the meeting room. Equipment staff avoided walking past the main hallway. Even players heading to treatment could feel the tension. Jimmy Haslam had seen enough. He watched the sideline meltdown. He watched Judy clap in Shedeur Sanders' face. He watched Posick step in to stop it. And he watched Shedeur handle the situation with more maturity than the veteran who caused the problem. When Haslam asked Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry to meet privately, nobody mistook it for a casual sit-down. This was the kind of meeting that only happens when an owner feels the culture slipping and wants to stop it before it cracks the locker room in half. Inside that room, the energy was cold. Haslam didn't waste a second. What the hell was that? He asked, pointing to the paused frame on the TV. Judy leaning over Shedeur, barking in his face like a drill sergeant. Explain it to me. Stefanski tried to soften the moment. He called it competitive emotion, heated frustration, miscommunication. But none of his explanations landed. Haslam had heard all the excuses before, especially in Denver, where Judy's attitude problems followed him long before Cleveland ever traded for him. Berry spoke next, offering numbers, route data, misalignments, anything that would suggest it wasn't as bad as it looked. But Haslam cut him off. I'm not asking about the routes. I'm asking why a veteran thinks he can treat our quarterback like that on national TV. There's something people underestimate about Jimmy Haslam. He's not just emotional. He's a businessman whose entire empire was built on reading people. And what he saw in Judy wasn't leadership or competitiveness or passion, that he saw ego. He saw blame. He saw someone tearing down the quarterback he's invested in. And he wasn't having it. Haslam leaned back in his chair, eyes locked onto the frame of Shedeur staring up at Judy, calm but almost numb. I defended this kid when people questioned why we drafted him. I defended him when the national media said we forced him on this organization. He's handled everything like a pro. I will not let anyone undermine him. Stefanski went quiet. Berry went quiet. The room felt smaller by the second because everyone in that building knew one thing. When Haslam talks like this, changes are coming. But the most telling moment came when Haslam asked the question everyone had been too afraid to say out loud. Is this just a moment? Or is this who Jerry Jeudy is? Because the Browns had already made a decision they weren't ready to say publicly. Shedeur Sanders is the future. Not Dylan Gabriel. Not anyone else. The owner knows it. The GM knows it. The fans know it. The players, after watching him stay composed under pressure, are starting to know it too. But Judy? He wasn't helping the young quarterback grow. He was suffocating the offense with inconsistency and then blaming the QB when he wasn't perfect. Haslam didn't yell. He didn't explode. His calm tone was even scarier. We are not going to have a locker room where veterans bully a rookie quarterback. Not this year. Not ever. Then he delivered the line that would define the rest of the season. If Jerry Jeudy wants to stay on this team, he better fix this. Fast. That wasn't a warning. That was a deadline. Because Haslam has traded bigger names than Judy. He's cut players with more talent. He's moved off personalities much stronger. He doesn't get emotional. He gets decisive. And this wasn't just about Judy. This was about protecting the quarterback the fans rallied behind. This was about preventing another because the Browns had already made a decision they weren't ready to say publicly. Shedeur Sanders is the future. Not Dylan Gabriel. Not anyone else. The owner knows it. The GM knows it. The fans know it. The players, after watching him stay composed under pressure, are starting to know it too. But Judy? He wasn't helping the young quarterback grow. He was suffocating the offense with inconsistency and then blaming the QB when he wasn't perfect. Haslam didn't yell. He didn't explode. His calm tone was even scarier. We are not going to have a locker room where veterans bully a rookie quarterback. Not this year. Not ever. Then he delivered the line that would define the rest of the season. If Jerry Jeudy wants to stay on this team, he better fix this. Fast. That wasn't a warning. That was a deadline. Because Haslam has traded bigger names than Judy. He's cut players with more talent. He's moved off personalities much stronger. He doesn't get emotional. He gets decisive. And this wasn't just about Judy. This was about protecting the quarterback the fans rallied behind. This was about preventing another toxic cycle like Baker Mayfield or Johnny Manziel. This was about establishing a standard that Cleveland has failed to maintain for decades. Before leaving the room, Haslam played one more clip on the screen. Even worse than the sideline confrontation. It showed Shedeur's press conference answer, the one where he refused to throw Judy or Stefanski under the bus. It's a trust thing, Shedeur said. We just got to see the field through the same lens. That takes time. Haslam paused the video. That's leadership. That's maturity. That's someone trying to build something. Ask yourselves, are we giving him the support he deserves? Stefanski stared at the table. Barry nodded slowly. And as Haslam walked out, he said the words that would echo across the building the rest of the week. Fix the culture, or I'll fix it for you. Players felt it in practice. Coaches felt it in meetings. And Jerry Jeudy felt it more than anyone when he walked into the facility and realized something had shifted. This wasn't about a sideline argument anymore. It was about the future of the franchise. And right now, Shedeur Sanders had the full backing of the man who signs every check in Cleveland. The message was clear: cross the rookie again. And your time in Cleveland is over. The day after Haslam's closed-door meeting, the Browns facility felt different. Players weren't whispering anymore. They were watching. Every conversation, every interaction, every drill suddenly felt like it mattered more than usual because everyone knew something was coming. Some players sided with Judy before, calling the sideline moment nothing more than heat of competition. Others quietly admitted what they saw. A veteran wideout crossing a line that shouldn't be crossed, especially with a rookie QB who never lost composure. But now that the owner himself had addressed the issue, nobody wanted to be on the wrong side of this. The quarterback room was the first to feel the aftershocks. Veteran backups walked in quieter than usual. Coaches looked more focused. Even analysts and assistants were suddenly more attentive around Shedeur, like they realized the franchise tag was beginning to orbit around him. But Shedeur? He didn't act like a rookie caught in drama. He acted like the only adult in the room. He went through his normal routine. He studied his film. He asked for corrections. He broke down protections with the linemen. He talked to Amari Cooper about timing. He asked Cedric Tillman about leverage reads. Not once did he mention Judy. Not once did he complain. Not once did he play the victim. And that one detail, the silence, said more than any headline. Players started noticing. Joel Bitonio nudged Wyatt Teller in the cafeteria. "Kid's handling this better than half the vets in here." Cooper said it privately to a staffer. "He doesn't flinch." Even defensive players, guys who don't usually get involved, felt the shift. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah told a teammate during stretches, "That's QB behavior. That's leadership." Meanwhile, Jerry Jeudy walked into the building carrying a tension he could feel in his shoulders. Nobody attacked him. Nobody confronted him. But the room had changed. The usual Jerry jokes teammates made? Gone. The friendly locker room noise when he walked in? Gone. People weren't being cruel. They were being careful. And Judy hated it. He tried to laugh it off with a few receivers. Didn't land. He tried to make a comment to the offensive line. They didn't bite. He tried to show extra energy at practice. Nobody reacted because everyone had the same thought. If Haslam is drawing a line, who wants to be standing next to the wrong player? By noon, Judy went to the coach's wing to clear the air, but Stefanski kept the talk short. He didn't reprimand him. Haslam had already done that. Instead, Stefanski simply said, "We're moving forward." Earned back the trust. That was no reassurance. No endorsement. No protection. Judy walked out of that room realizing something terrifying. This was no longer his offense. This was becoming Shedeur's team. But the biggest turning point came later that evening, when Shedeur quietly made his most powerful move yet. Instead of ignoring the drama, instead of pretending everything was fine, instead of letting the situation rot from the inside, he asked for a private meeting with the entire receiver room. Not the coaches, not the owners, just the players. When he walked in, the room straightened up. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't call anyone out by name. He didn't make speeches. He simply said, "Look, I'm here to win. I don't care who gets the credit. I don't care who gets the ball. I don't care what happened last week. All I care about is us doing this together. If something's wrong, talk to me. Don't talk at me. Don't talk around me. Talk to me." The room went silent. Then he looked directly at Judy. Not confrontational, not angry, just firm. "We gotta trust each other. I don't want to lose that before we even get started." For the first time in days, Judy didn't talk back, didn't make excuses, didn't try to deflect. He just nodded. Because no veteran expects a rookie to show that level of leadership. And yet there he was, the youngest guy in the room, guiding it like someone who had already played 5 years in the league. After that meeting, everything shifted for real. Receivers started staying after practice with Shedeur. Tillman, Cooper, Goodwin, all asking for extra timing reps. Even Judy stayed, quietly running routes, trying to show he was buying back in. And you know who noticed? Jimmy Haslam. He watched the film from practice, the body language, the communication, the focus. He saw the difference. He saw who the players gravitated toward. He saw who stepped up when the team needed a voice. And when he asked a coaching staffer later that night, "Tell me the truth. Which guy looked like the leader today?" The answer came without hesitation. Shedeur. By the end of the week, the storyline that started as a sideline fight had turned into something bigger. A rookie quarterback emerging as the real heartbeat of the team. Not because he demanded it. Not because he was protected. Not because he was handed anything. But because when chaos hit, he stayed calm, steady, and unshakably professional. And that's when the whole locker room, finally saw it. This isn't about whether Shedeur Sanders will lead the Browns. This is about when. And after this week, the answer got a whole lot closer.